then you want that sort of organization. That's the best way to do it. But with continuous improvement, what you do is you have to punch a hole through these walls that grew up there and begin to work on the process rather than the function going backwards and forwards across this. So you're focused on the market, focused on what we call customer satisfaction, and having that brought back even to the suppliers that you have that feed into this. What you're doing is linking the organization. Linking the organization. And that's the primary transformation that has to happen to get from mass production to continuous improvement. Break down those silos and link the organization together. Out to the end customer, back through your suppliers. Then the last step, of course, is moving up here, and that's where mass customization is. So one definition of mass customization is that it's a stable set of processes that enable a dynamic flow of individualized offerings. And that's what it is. And what does it take to do that is what we talked about before, and that's modularize. That you modularize your architecture, that you create an architecture. So instead of this horizontal organization that you have with continuous improvement, you sort of intersect both of those, and both the functional and the horizontal, and then that's when you get the modules, where you modularize things. That's the sort of organization that you want to have. That's how you have to think about things. An architecture, modular architecture for your company. But mass customization is not the end-all be-all. Because another part and parcel of the definition of mass customization is that it is always pre-engineered. Like with mass production, you can develop nothing new. You can do something that hasn't been done before, but it was something that was inherent in the architecture that you had. Right? Even if nobody's ever asked for that particular thing, I'm sure some of these down here at the Leutrons, nobody ever asked for one of those before, but it was inherent in the architecture that they had. It was pre-engineered. It wasn't innovative. So when you want to create something new, when you have in particular, in continuous improvement they talk about process failures, that everything's based on improving when you have a process failure. Well, with mass customization, what you have are capability failures. Capability failures. You have a customer that comes along and wants something that you can't do. Right? What do you do then? Right? You can tell the customer to go away. You can say, well, we'll give that to our folks in product development, and in 3, 4, 5 years they will get back to you. Or you can say, well, let's figure it out. Let's do what it takes to give you exactly what you want. That's in fact what Lutron does. Joel Spear, again, the chairman of Lutron, talks about order and chaos. That his business is constantly managing order and chaos. That the order comes with the modular architecture, but then they'll do whatever a customer wants, even if they don't make any money on it, just for the learning. If the customer wants to create some lighting control that's different than any other, then they'll do it, they'll figure it out, and then over time they'll then make order out of that chaos that they have done. So when I talk about figure it out, they'll figure out what it takes, I'm not talking about mass customization anymore. What am I talking about? Invention. Invention. It's about going back to invention and renewing your capabilities. That's the last step. You want to go back and renew your capabilities. When you have things that customers want that you can't do, renew the capabilities. Now once you've done that, you come up with this invention. You've given this to one particular customer. What else would you like to do with it? Well, offer it to all your customers. Like to add it then to your modular architecture. Well, you can't do that immediately. You've done this once. You've done it at a very high cost. So what do? You have to go through the same set of activities of develop, link, and modularize until you can then add it to the set of capabilities that you know how to do. So what's really key here is not so much the boxes, but the arrows of this figure 8 process. That if you want a lasting advantage with mass customization, you have to go through this figure 8 process of continually coming up with new capabilities and bringing them into your architecture. It's basically a sophisticated game of paper, scissors, rock. You all familiar with that? Right? Paper beats rock because it smothers it. Rock beats scissors because it breaks it. Scissors beat paper because it cuts it. Well, mass production beats invention because you can have low cost. You can deliver things to the masses that you never could do with a pure invention model. Continuous improvement means mass production because you can have both high quality and low cost. Mass customization beats that because you can add in the individual customization with high quality at low cost. And then invention beats that because, again, that's all pre-engineered. You want to come up with anything new, you want to innovate, you've got to go back to an invention. So it's managing this entire figure 8 process that is really important for mass customizing. Don't think of it as just living in mass customization, it's just living in that box, but managing the entire set of processes. Well, one time, I was giving a presentation where a person in the back of the room said, well, you talked about service companies that mass customize, like USAA and Hertz #1 Gold Service and Cemex with its customized cement delivery and so forth. And yeah, so what happens when you mass customize a service? So I shot back, when you mass customize a service, you automatically turn it into an experience. And I never thought about that before, never said it before. I went, wow, that sounds pretty neat. So I said, hold on a second, I gotta write that down. But I realized that's true. If you customize a service, if you design a service that is so appropriate for this particular person, it's exactly the service that they need right now, at this moment in time, then you can't help but make them go, wow, and turn it into a memorable event. For example, look at Progressive Insurance in the United States, based in Cleveland. They sell automobile insurance. Well, one is they mass customize their policies, but where they really shine is when you actually have an accident. Then what they do is they tell you, if you have an accident, if you can, call us up immediately, and they'll dispatch a claims adjuster to the very site of the accident. All their claims adjusters are outfitted in these immediate response claims vehicles, Ford Explorers, that they send out around the city, just to be dispatched to accidents. I mean, these claims adjusters are literally just roaming the city, just waiting for an accident to happen. And when they get to your accident, the first thing they do is they make sure you're okay. They will give you a mobile phone to use. If you need to call a loved one, they'll give you a place to sit in the vehicle to calm your nerves. They'll give you a cup of coffee. They have brewing on the vehicle. They'll put out all the traffic cones and everything. They'll have fire extinguishers if you need it. And then as you go about calming your nerves, they adjust your claim. They have a laptop computer with wireless uplink to the mainframe computers, where they know all the information about you, about your policy, about your vehicle, about where it can be fixed. And over 90% of the cases, they hand you a check on the spot. On the spot. Not only that, if your vehicle can't be driven, they call a tow truck company, have it delivered to the garage of your choice, or if you want, Progressive will take care of all of the things it takes to fix that vehicle, and you don't have anything to do with it again until they deliver it personally to your driveway as good as new. They call a rental car company, have them drop off a rental car at the site. So you drive away from this accident in a rental car that they are paying for, with your vehicle being taken care of, with a check in your pocket. Turning what was a horrible experience, and I'm not talking about the accident, I'm talking about working with the insurance company, turning that horrible experience into a positive #1 by mass customizing it right there, right then. And it lowers their costs to boot. It actually costs Progressive less money to adjust claims that way than the old-fashioned way where you're treated as a cog in the